All right, family. Thank you for tuning into WDRB Media, the voice of the community. Welcome to Commitments Radio, the show that provides hope, healing, and help for relationships. We are building stronger relationships, one conversation at a time. Here's my disclaimer. Opinions expressed by the hosts are not necessarily the opinions of this radio station, its owners, affiliates, or advertisers. Opinions expressed by the guests are absolutely not necessarily the opinions of the host. The radio station owners, affiliates, or any advertisers of the radio station or Commitments Radio. All right, we have a couple of sponsors I want to get to this morning that are helping us bring this show to you. The first one is Discover Your Community at the House of Light Church. Join us for inspiring worship, meaningful connections, and a place to grow your faith. At the House of Light Church, you'll find authentic love, truth, and community without judgment or pretense. Sunday services are at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Visit us in person or join live stream at hoflchurch.org, the House of Light Church where you belong. Our second sponsor is Dianu, a Black-owned, ready-to-wear, bold print clothing line offering quality, trendy African-inspired fashion at affordable prices. See, I need to put on my glasses, right? Check out their products at www.dianu.com. Use code commit to you. That's commit the number two, the letter U, to get a 15% discount on your entire order. All right, family. Another exciting show for you. We are excited about our show today. We have a special guest, and we're talking about something that is really, really important in our communities. And it's actually something that's, I would say, hidden. And we're going to talk a little bit about it today, but we're going to talk about the relatives. And if you don't know what the relatives are, we're not talking about your grandma, we're not talking about your aunt, your uncle, but we're going to talk about the relatives today with our very special guest. And our very special guest, and pronounce your name, is it Redia?
Redia, that's absolutely correct.
All
Redia.
right, Redia Baxter. She is the volunteer engagement officer for the relatives. So let me tell you a little bit about Redia. She's dedicated over 20 years of making a positive impact in the nonprofit sector. Originally from Columbia, South Carolina, she's made a significant contributions. She has made significant contributions to the Charlotte area since graduating from college in 2000 and anyway, Radia holds a bachelor's degree in communications from Winthrop, a master's degree in public administration as well. She, throughout her entire career, she's excelled in various roles and has been a driving force behind numerous community initiatives, from her work developing, implementing, and supporting programs that improve the lives of countless youth to enhancing community outreach and support services and providing crucial resources to families affected by Alzheimer's disease. Currently, as the volunteer engagement coordinator at the Relatives, she continues to foster community engagement and support, aligning her passion for helping others with her professional mission. However, she is most proud of being the mother to her 14-year-old son, Miles. She enjoys music, traveling, great food, good laughs, quality time with friends and family. And here's her motto for life: if it's if it's to be, it's up to me. I'm sorry, Rede, I just totally butchered that. But if it's to be, it's up to me. And that was by William H. Johnson, an American painter from South Carolina. The quote serves as a constant reminder to Radia that our choices and personal responsibility are what makes our dreams a reality. Radia, welcome to Commitments Radio.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you so much. And I'm so glad to be here today with you all.
Well, we are happy to have you. So, look, let's just go ahead and jump right in because we keep throwing around this name, the relatives, and people are trying to figure out what in the world that is. So, what is the relatives? Who are or what are the relatives?
So that's a great question. That's one of the questions that we get a lot from folks when you just hear the name the relatives. And as you mentioned, people might consider relatives their own individual family, their own individual friends. But here in the Charlotte community, the relatives, we were founded in 1974 in the basement of Dilworth United Methodist Church. What we do is we provide services and support to youth and young adults ages 7 all the way up to age 24 who are living in crisis. And that crisis could be anywhere from being run away. They could be foster care or in the foster care system.
Mhm.
They could be victims of, just being excluded from their family for choices. It really is about providing that support and that services to those youth and young adults. So while the name sounds like family, We
Hmm.
pride ourselves because we do become the family of those youth and young adults.
So, Redia, you said that the relative serves what ages again?
We serve ages 7 to 24 years old. So we have two locations. Our Youth
Hmm.
Crisis Center serves kids ages 7 to 17 that would be considered runaway or homeless youth, those that may be in the foster care system or part of the Department of Social Services. And then for our young adults, ages 16 to 24, we have a resource center where it is a day drop-in service, and we provide resources and support for those young adults that are in crisis.
So, Redia, is this an issue in, I mean, in Charlotte or in this area? I mean, 7 to 24, is this an issue? I mean, do you all see very many young people or serve very many?
We do. Unfortunately, there was a study that was done back a few years ago, and it was researching the number of youth and young adults that would be considered homeless youth and young adults.
Hmm.
And at that time, it was about 45,000 youth and young adults here in the Charlotte community that were experiencing homelessness and some sort of crises.
I'm sorry, Redia, hold on. 45,000?
Absolutely. Yes, sir. That was a study that was done back in 2019. And
Really?
so we exist simply to be able to serve and support that population of youth and young adults. So when you consider the number of people and the demographics of those that we serve at the relatives, that number is a large number of young adults that we serve. While we can't serve the full 45,000 plus that are there, our goal is to try and attempt to make sure that we're serving them and providing the resources and the support that they need to become successful, independent young adults.
So Radia, when you say in crisis,
Mhm.
that sounds like kind of a nebulous word. For the relatives, what does in crisis mean? My mom gave me a whooping last night, or I don't like my parents anymore, or I mean, what exactly is crisis?
So, a crisis can be considered a number of different things. And so, I'll start by what the crises could be for those that we serve at our temporary emergency shelter for those that are 7 to 17 years old.
Okay.
That crisis could be they are runaway youth. They could be homeless youth. They could be part of the Department of Social Services and in the foster care system. So, partners that we work with may are looking to find a more permanent place for them. So they have nowhere else to go. So the
So I'm
relatives
sorry,
becomes.
Radia, hang on just a second. I just want to go back for just 1 second because you said
Mhm.
something that's really fascinating to me. When we think of homelessness, especially here in America, we think of men and we think of
Mhm.
generally grown adult, if not older men. Are you suggesting that there is a homeless issue with children?
There is. So um, when you consider homelessness,
Hmm.
keeping in mind that sometimes homelessness not only affects men or affects women, sometimes that would include children as well too. So if
Okay.
you are a parent and you are unfortunately homeless, a lot of the shelters, especially with men, there's the men's shelter.
Mm,
Not necessarily a place that the men and their children can go to. So
okay.
we can be a safe haven, a place of refuge for that family if it's a male guardian and their children. So we can provide support for the children while also helping make sure that that adult is doing what they need to do to get out of that homeless situation. For women, it can be women and children that are in
Hmm.
homeless situations. And so sometimes we find families who have a female guardian that they are unfortunately homeless and
Hmm.
their children still need to go to school. Their children still need to be fed. Their children
Hmm.
still need to be clothed. And we at the relatives, we can provide that support for those kids. Our shelter is a temporary shelter, so it's not meant to be a permanent place, but it is a place where families who are having some level of crises, and that crisis could be homelessness. They have a place that they can turn to where their kids can receive support.
That's really fascinating to me because a lot of times when people think of the face of homelessness, they don't even, I think, consider children. I mean, just the thought of a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old being on the street homeless is just a lot. So we're going to take a break right now. When we come back, we're going to continue our discussion with Redia Baxter, the volunteer engagement officer for the relatives. You're listening to Commitments Radio on WDRB Media, the voice of the community. We'll be right back after the break.